In this video, we're going to be taking a look at Agent Kallus for the Star Wars Rebels 5 POA line. I think this is probably the first real Rebels action figure we've taken a look at outside of Ahsoka, for instance. And if you recall back to 2014, the Rebels line was very hard to get a hold of at retail. And I can't confirm the story specifically, but I have heard on multiple occasions. And it's a very wild story at that. I know I've told it on the channel before, but I'll briefly tell it again. Basically, a lot of the shipments of the Rebels action figures that were making its way to North America, and I think maybe Europe as well, they ended up being raided by pirates, so they ended up not making it. So that would explain why characters like the Jedi Temple Guard, and I think even Kallus and so many of the other Rebels action figures as well, ended up being very expensive, and most people just never found them at retail. Interestingly enough, this action figure is very special to me because my mom picked this up for me where she worked at the time. They ended up getting one shipment of the Rebels action figures, and Kallus was one of them. And she saw it and she thought, this would probably be something I really like, and indeed it is. So it's very special in my collection. I can't say I'm the biggest Rebels fan out there, but in fact, I think this is pretty much the only Rebels action figure I have. But still, even though this is based upon Kallus's animated look, he's always blended in just fine with all the officers I have. And I figured this will also be a fitting time to take a look at Kallus because Hasbro recently revealed that they're going to be doing a TVC action figure of him. At this time, I haven't decided yet if I'm going to be getting that. The helmet looks a little bit too large, I think. And I'm quite frankly perfectly happy with this 5 POA version of him. Plus the price. It looks like TVC is going to be going up in price yet again, so we'll see. Kind of interesting that we're getting a TVC Kallus before we are a new Tarkin. So as for this action figure, it's pretty good. I think the details are very nice. As I said, this is 5 POA. Not a whole lot I can really say about it. This was back in 2014 or 15. I did watch season 1 of Rebels, so I'm kind of familiar with this character a little bit, but I never watched any of the other seasons after that. But from my understanding, he ends up joining the Rebels before it's over with. I think the face sculpt there looks really nice. Helmet is a pretty good proportion. I would say this helmet proportion is going to end up being a whole lot better than what the TVC action figure will have. Have his armor here, his rank badge. I forget what his rank is. Maybe he's a lieutenant or a captain, I'm not sure. He's definitely a junior officer, I think. The rest of his suit, have his gloves, his legs here. Back of his armor. Number there. Of course, being 5 POA, it's pretty basic, just all swivels. And accessories, I think this was his only accessory, which is the... this is kind of like a combination of a rifle and a staff, I think. Not very practical to use in a position like this, but usually I have them just standing like this and it's alright. On my shelf, I just have them standing in the background among the other officers. Just bring out a couple samples here. And as you can see, despite him being technically an animated action figure, I think he blends in alright. It's a great character to add to the background of your other Imperial officers. But that's pretty much all I can really tell you about Agent Kallus here. But would I recommend him for your collection? To be honest, it's been a long time since I've looked up the prices for Kallus. I know back in the day, like 2014 and 15, he ended up being very expensive because, of course, the shipments were very low of him. But as far as prices in today's world, I would have to look that up again. But if you're a big fan of Rebels, Kallus in general, then yeah, I would recommend him. I think he's one of the better 5 POA action figures you can get. I know a lot of people aren't big fans of it, but there are nice ones that Hasbro has made over the years, and some of them are really good, and they make for great background characters, and great to fill out your display a little bit more. And I'm happy he's been a part of my collection. But anyways, that concludes this review. I hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for plenty more in the future. There's always more to come. If you haven't already, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. I appreciate your support. And check out the links in the description if you haven't done so already. As always, thanks for watching.